And I don't know if you experience this, but one thing that I love about having those old leads is, yeah, they revive some, but they also get a ton of conversations of, oh, we just bought a house. You know, right? So then it's like, look, these people are buying our stuff, dude. It's up to you if it's going to be you.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, that, like, the biggest, I think, you know, I'm not, you know, I mean, I know a lot of people that are, I know a lot of the top teams across the United States that are doing over 100 million in sales. They're probably not honest with me or don't really tell me that they're netting only 300,000. But honestly, if you have the right people in place and you're doing 100 million in sales, the only reason you can't go from a $300,000 net income to $1 million, like, the only reason you're not going to be able to increase your net income by 300% is because you've got the wrong people. And because you have the wrong people, your client acquisition cost, in other words, how much money you have to spend on lead generation to generate a closed deal, is crazy high, right? Because, like, if you have amazing salespeople and they convert at a really high rate, it means as a company, you don't need as many leads to close deals, which means you're not spending as much on those leads, right? So, like, it may cost your team, for example, like, let's say it costs like, $25 to generate a lead. Your team has a 10% conversion rate, for example, your client acquisition cost is only $250. But if you have, let's say you have a crappy team and you get 100 leads and you spend $25 per lead, that's $2,500, right, to generate 100 leads. And if your team is only closing 1 or 2 deals out of those 100 leads, that means your client acquisition cost is somewhere between $1,250 and $2,500, depending on whether you're generating 1 or 2 closed deals out of those, right? So that client acquisition cost, like that financial metric or whatever, like, that is the biggest driver. That's the biggest expense driver for anybody building a team. So when you have amazing people, your CAC goes way down. Yeah, so that's the difference between netting 300 and $1 million. Literally, that's it.
Knowing everything you know now today, if you could rewind the clocks and go back to yourself when you first started this real estate journey, again, knowing everything you know now, and you could give yourself 2 pieces of advice that you feel would have fast forwarded all the success, what would those 2 pieces of advice be?
Number 1, align yourself with people that have the same core values as you do. And number 2, learn about leadership. Those are the 2 pieces.
Yep. So when it comes to the leadership, do you have any, like, favorite, leadership guru that you follow, or a series of books that you follow?
Man, there's so many, like, dude, there's so many leadership books out there. Some great team books, right, that apply to real estate. 5 Dysfunctions of a Team.
Yeah. Patrick Lencioni's so dope, man. His stuff is so great.
Yeah. Good to Great. That's another really good one. There's, if anybody comes to my office in Austin, we have a honestly, we have a library. No joke. We have a library in our office. Like, I don't even know how many books are out there, like hundreds. And we let people take books, when they're in the office. But, like, I've got, like, an entire section dedicated to leadership. But ultimately leadership is about just coaching and, like, wanting to help other people, like, surpass their self-imposed limitations. Yeah. And so, when you're trying to build a team, like, it's about helping the people around you, push them to, push them outside of their comfort zone to try to get them to perform at a higher level. And, that's basically what leadership is in my eyes, is helping other people, coaching other people to surpass these self-imposed limitations. So I wish I'd understood that more. Like, I didn't even, like, if I think back 5 years, 10 years, I didn't even know what leadership meant. My idea of leadership was, like, some dude that stands in front of the room and, like, talks to everybody. Yeah. Like, that's what I thought it was. Some great motivational speaker, and I'm a natural introvert. Like, I'm not a guy that loves going on stage and talking. So that's not what leadership is about at all. It's about setting a great example and helping people, coach people past their self-imposed limitations. There's a lot of great books out there you can read. And then the core values thing, like, I guess just to touch on that briefly, when I went to school, I got a degree, like, business degree, finance, and you learn in business school about mission, vision, and core values. And for years and years, like, I just thought that's what, you're supposed to do. And it's just something you put on a piece of paper. But then I started learning that like also another component of leadership is like starting to create your own language within your organization where you are frequently referencing like your core values and your mission and your vision as a team. Like that's what develops culture. And that's like another thing, like that's how I kind of like started figuring out how important leadership and core values were, was, you know, culture is like such a buzzword like for businesses, and you hear about Google and Zappos and all these companies with amazing culture. And I actually flew out to Zappos and like went to their culture camp, and I'm trying to figure out like what makes all these companies so cool. And ultimately, the way you design an amazing culture is you hire people with similar core values as human beings. So, you know, just like as an example, some of our core values are success through humility, passion for people, being coachable, being fiercely committed. You know, these are like, this is like the DNA of our organization. And if people don't exhibit those core values, and we look for them in that first 30 days training, and we try to ask kind of questions in the interview process to see if people have those core values. We try to ask those questions. Some people get past the interview and they get into the 30-day ramp up, and we find out like when they got their face at the grindstone making calls, we find out they're not fiercely committed, or they start working with customers and we find out like they really don't have a passion for people. Like they're just really selfish bastards that are really just trying to collect a commission check and like manipulate people. Like those are the people, you know, it's like a weed in a garden. You got to pull it out as fast as possible. So if I could go back in time, leadership and core values, it's amazing how fast you can grow an organization when you have amazing people on your team. Like even if you suck at lead generation, but you've got this huge vision for your team and you can recruit amazing people and identify people with similar core values as you do personally, you're going to have a massive amount of success, because when you're surrounded by people that are looking for greatness as a team, you guys will find a way, somehow, some way, you will find a way to crush whatever issue it is you have, whether it's lead generation, lead conversion. You've got a great group of people, and everybody's in alignment, you will find massive success. Yeah. There's another great book called The Advantage. It's another great leadership book. And that book, you know, that's when you get the advantage. Like when your whole team is on the same page and you're all working together and you guys all are in alignment, have similar core values, are all trying to push for, you know, a better life, for something more and something better in your own life.